Hello, thank you so much for joining and welcome to the third session of our Intro to Ashtanga Yoga. In the past two sessions, you have learned the practice of sun salutation, Surya Namaskar A, Surya Namaskar B, as well as the first few of the standing postures. We covered the Padangushtasana and Padahastasana, Uttita Trikonasana, Parivrita Trikonasana, Uttita Parshvakonasana, the extended side angle pose, and Parivrita Parshvakonasana, the revolving version of this one. Today we will cover a few more sequences or a few more postures. We'll go through the Prasarita Padottanasana, which has 4 types, A, B, C, D. We'll do Parshvottanasana, Uttita Hasta, which is the single leg balancing pose, Ardha Baddha Padmottanasana, the half lotus standing, along with the 2 final sequences of the standing postures, which is the whole vinyasa that takes us to chair pose, Utkatasana, and the 4 warriors. So we have quite a lot to cover, but don't worry about that because you will have time and space to revision and repeat these practices today and during the upcoming week as well. When it comes to the standing postures, I always believe that it's never too much of repetition because the entire standing sequence, which is composed of these 9 smaller standing sequences, each of them based on a posture and a group of movements and breaths, they give us a wonderful foundation to the entire practice of Ashtanga Yoga. Many from the standing postures give the foundation to postures from primary, intermediate, as well as advanced series. So all the movements like deep forward bends, twists, balancing on one leg, extending the leg very high, or bending very deeply with legs apart, they come back to us in the intermediate, primary, and advanced series in a different forms. So like, for example, when you think about Prasarita Padottanasana, the first new sequence that we will go through today, we see it later in primary series in the form of the Kurmasana, the tortoise pose, or in the form of Titibhasana in the intermediate, the firefly pose, where we put those stretched legs over the shoulders. There are many more examples as such. That's why take your time to repeat the standing postures. The more times you repeat, the better. Some of my teachers used to say that every asana or every vinyasa in the practice of Ashtanga Yoga requires minimum 100 repetitions so that the body understands how to do it. And I think practicing for such a long time gives us very good understanding of the breath and of the movement. So if you've been just practicing for 3-4 weeks or 3-4 days, give yourself time, be generous with yourself, and don't worry at all if things initially seem challenging. Because I can assure you that when I started practicing, most of the things seemed beyond impossible. They were just extremely crazy to me. Okay? And over the time, what was impossible became possible, and the possible became easy. And now I'm able to teach that from my own perspective. So don't get intimidated, don't worry, just enjoy the practice, enjoy the breathing. Okay? Today we will again start with breathing practice because I find breathing very essential and fundamental to understand the practice of Ashtanga Yoga. And it's the breathing that helps us to really enjoy the practice. Once your breathing is strong and deep, you're able to fully focus on the practice, your mind gets less distracted, and you really enjoy the benefits of it. Okay, so begin by sitting comfortably. We will practice resonant breathing for 4 minutes in a way that we'll be inhaling either in the belly or side ribs, or both, whatever feels best for you. So that will be the expansion on the inhale. And as you exhale, you will be gently contracting the muscles, lifting the pelvic floor, and drawing the transverse muscles in towards the center. Okay, so actually not really the abs, not the external muscles, but the deepest layer of the muscles, the transverse. These are the muscles you want to gently engage as you exhale. Okay, so inhaling, everything is relaxed, your pelvic floor opens, your belly just naturally gently pushes out. And then just before you start exhaling, you tighten your pelvic floor. Try to gently lift the muscles and wrap the belly in. Okay? Once you are ready, you can either keep your hands on the belly or on your knees. Close your eyes. Make sure that your tongue is gently resting up behind your upper teeth on the upper palate. So when we practice breathing, we don't want the tongue to sit deeply down. And because for some people the tongue likes to be pressed down, it's always nice to remind yourself, just keep the tongue slightly up. Close your eyes. And we begin. Breathing in, belly expands. Breathing out, pelvic floor lifts, belly tightens, and you push the air out. And again, relaxing, breathing in, lift and wrap as you breathe out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And continue. And last one, exhale. Relax your breath. You can still keep your eyes closed. Notice how your body feels now. And you can slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. We will now stand up and begin by chanting the Ashtanga Yoga opening mantra. And then we will start with sun salutations. Today I will guide you, I will practice with you sun salutation A and B 2 times each. And then I will ask you to stop the video, continue at your own pace, and then we will do similar thing with the standing postures so that you make sure that you're able to do those postures on your own. Let's come up to Samastitihi. Equal standing, palms together. Inhale. Om. Vande Gurunam Charanaravinda Sandarshita Swatma Sukhavabodhe Nishreyase Jangalika Yamane Samsara Hala Hala Moha Shantye Abahu Purushakaram Shankachakra Siddharinam Sahasra Shirasam Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananja Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Let's start with Surya Namaskar A. Feet together, deeply breathing in, inhale, arms up, look up, duvet, exhale, fold forward. Trini, inhale, lift your chin up, look towards your nose. Chatwari, step back. You can drop your knees if you like to. Chaturanga. Point your toes, upward facing dog. Again, lengthen, look towards the nose. And as you exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe here 5 times. Inhaling, shift your shoulders forward, step forward, head up. Ashtanga, exhale, head down. Nava, inhale, rise up, look up. Exhale, Samastitihi. Again, Ekam, inhale. Dve, exhale. Trini, inhale. Chatwari. You can drop your knees or straight legs. Chaturanga. Pancha. Upward dog. Inhale. Shut. Downward dog. Exhale. Breathe 5 times. Sapta, inhale, step forward, head up. Ashtanga, exhale, strong legs. Nava, inhale, samastitihi. We will do now sun salutation B, and after that you can pause the video and practice both on your own. Remember, when you practice sun salutation, especially B, to work from the navel. So the area between our navel and the pubic bone is sometimes referred to as a hatha zone. So this is the center of your energy, where all the prana comes from, where your Muladhara and your Kundalini are located. So like an epicenter of life and energy. Whenever we move, whenever we practice sun salutations, try to connect to the center of the body. So even when you do a simple thing like raising of the arms, don't just raise your arms. Move your arms from the belly. So actually the gentle engagement here and the rising of the prana along with the inhale is what brings you up. And then when you exhale, you're not just bending down. When you exhale, you're again moving from the hatha zone, moving from below the navel. So the exhale is soft and movement is fluid, connected to the breath. The same on Trini. When I'm lifting my head, it's not just lifting the head. It's again moving from the hatha. So I inhale, and my whole body connects and integrates. Okay, so try to embody that. Now as we do sun salutation B, feel the difference between A, which you did without this awareness, and now B. And then remember about it as we move through the standing postures. So let's start sun salutation B. Remember, moving from the hatha zone. Ekam, bend your knees, inhale. Dve, exhale. Trini. Breathe in. Chatwari, step or hop. Chaturanga. Pancha, inhale. Shat, exhale. Sapta, right leg forward. You can pause here if you need to. One more inhale to come up from the belly. Ashtau, exhale. Chaturanga. Nava, breathe in. Dasha, breathe out. Ekadasha, left side. Again, pause if you need to. And then continue with a nice long inhale. Dwadasha, Chaturanga. Trayodasha, inhale. Chaturdasha, exhale. Breathe. Panchadasha, step or hop forward. Shodasha, exhale. Saptadasha, bend your knees. Samastitihi. So remember that in Sun Salutation B, some of the movements are a little longer, like stepping to Warrior One or jumping back to Chaturanga. Don't worry if your breath is not long enough. Allow yourself to take extra breath in between, but try to remember that you want to finish the movement with the correct breathing. So when you're in your downward dog, and you're about to step for warrior, you can take 2 breaths. So I inhale here, I pause, and because the breath is inhale, I'll just inhale here, okay? And then downward movement will be connected to the exhale. But again, maybe I run out of breath here. That's fine, just pause. Take a tiny inhale, and then continue with another exhale as you lower down. Inhale and exhale, okay? So that you add a little bit of breath, not to stress your nervous system, okay? Let's do one more time together. Sun Salutation B. Samastitihi. Ekam inhale. Dve. Exhale. Trini inhale. Chatwari. Chaturanga. Pancha inhale. Shat exhale. Sapta warrior. You know what to do. Ashta Chaturanga. Nava inhale. Dasha exhale. Ekadasha. Breathe in. Dwadasha. Chaturanga. Trayodasha inhale. Chaturdasha exhale. Breathe. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Panchadasha, step or hop. Shodasha, exhale. Saptadasha, bend your knees. Arms up. Samastitihi. You can now pause the video and do 2 to 3 rounds of Sun Salutation A and 2 to 3 rounds of Sun Salutation B at your own pace. And once you're ready, we will resume. Let's come back now. After Sun Salutation, standing posture, Samastitihi, Parangushtasana. Take your feet hips width apart. Remember to keep the external edges of your feet parallel, so don't keep your toes too far apart. Also, don't keep your legs too wide apart. Not too narrow. If you want to know the perfect distance, I'll show you from this angle. For Parangushtasana, just take your toes out and then take your heels out. So this is the hips width apart distance, okay? So having feet here, bend forward. Hold on the big toes, head up, inhale. Trini, exhale, lengthening the spine, and see if you can shift the body weight slightly forward towards the base of the toes. Breathe 5 times. And now inhaling, lift your head up. Exhale here. Don't change your head position. Shift your hands for Padahastasana. Inhale here. And now you exhale, bring your head down. Again, 5 breaths. And then inhale, lift your head up. Exhale, hands on your waist. Inhale, come up. Samastitihi, feet together. Trikonasana. Step with your right leg to the back. One leg distance between your heels. Turn your right toes out. Reach forward. Place your hands on the shin or hold your big toe. Left hand up. Look up and breathe. 1. And after 5 breaths, Trini, inhale, right toes in, left toes out. Chatwari, exhale. Left side. Pancha, inhale, come up. Now square your pelvis, so both hips facing to the back. Parivrtta Trikonasana, Dve. Exhale. Send your right hip to the back. Open the chest, turn your head. You can extend your arm up. You don't have to. If you still struggle, you feel quite wobbly, always most welcome to stay higher and keep your hand on your waist. Okay? Deep breathing. And after 5 breaths, inhaling, coming to center. Exhaling, same for the left. And Pancha, inhale to center. Samastiti, he. Uttita Parshvakonasana, bigger stance. So you step far to the back. Again, turn your right toes out, bend your right knee, extend, extended side angle. So you're extending your entire body from the left heel to the left fingertips. One straight line, and breathe, looking at your left palm. Padayuragre drishti, gazing at the palm. And inhaling, coming up. Exhaling, left side. If you still find this position challenging, what I like to do is just stay here. Yeah, so a little higher, a little more comfortable version. And inhaling, coming up, and Parivrtta Parshvakonasana. Also choose your version, either drop the knee, palms together, or keep the knee up, or go into the full twist. Optionally, you can also drop the back heel for a full version. And after 5 breaths, coming up, inhale. Exhale. Same to the other side. Coming up to center, inhale, Samastitihi. So after you've done those first 3 standing positions or sequences, using whichever modification you need to make sure that the practice is comfortable, now you can pause the video and try to do all those postures one time on your own. So once you're done with your own practice, we will now move on to the next pose, which is the Prasarita Padottanasana, 4 wide leg forward bends, okay? From Samastitihi, start by stepping your right leg to the back, hands on waist. Inhale. And then as you exhale, place your hands on the floor. Try to keep them between your legs, but if it's not possible, keep them slightly in front, okay? Wherever you are, inhale here. And as you exhale again, bend the elbows and bring your head down. It's not necessary initially to keep the knees straight. It's totally fine if you have to have your knees bent. But even if your knees are bent, try to keep the legs relatively engaged. Imagine that you're pushing with your feet apart, so as if you're trying to slide your feet away from each other or stretch the mat between the feet. So that will allow you to engage the legs and soften the spine. Gazing towards tip of your nose, breathing here. After 5 breaths, without changing position of your hands, inhale, lift your head up. Exhale, same position. Now switch your hands on the waist. Inhale, come up. Exhale. Second, pose B. Ekam, inhale, stretch your arms. Dve, exhale, hands on your waist. Again, inhale. And Trini. As you exhale, go down. Breathe 5 times. And then Chatwari, inhaling, coming up. C, third one. Inhale, stretch your arms. Exhale, interlace your fingers. Again, inhale here. Keep your belly in, move from the belly. Exhale, fold down. Just keep your shoulders relaxed. Allow your arms to fall as down as comfortable. If you really struggle being here, you could just hold a towel. I don't have any towel here, but if you had a short towel, just hold it here, and that will allow you to go deeper. That's for people with stiff shoulders. If your shoulders are flexible, you can just enjoy staying here. After 5 breaths, inhaling, coming up. Exhale, and the last one, switch your hands on the waist. Inhale, exhale, catch your big toes. Again, inhale, lift the head up, and exhale, head down, staying for 5. And inhaling, lift the head up only. Exhale in the same position, hands on waist. Inhale, come up. Turn your feet, left foot forward. Step to Samastitihi. So Prasarita Padottanasana is one of the most complex vinyasas where we have 4 positions in one. And all the breaths in between are very often confusing for students. But there are a few rules, if you understand them, it will be a little easier for you to memorize the sequence. So think that the first of the Prasarita, the one when you have your hands on the floor, and the last one when you hold your toes are similar. There are similar principles here, and I'll explain what is that. And the two in between, hands on waist and fingers interlaced, are also similar. So what's going on here? When we step to the back, remember we take hands on waist, that's the inhale. And then I go down as I exhale, because that's, again, a principle in Ashtanga yoga. Every time I go down, I exhale. Every time I move up, I inhale. So let's start again. Inhale. Exhale. Now I inhale here again without changing position. And then I exhale again to come down. And after 5 breaths, I do exactly the same to come out. I inhale as I lift my head up. I exhale without changing, and then I inhale. And the same will be in the last one. But how about the second one? In the second and third, I don't touch my hands down, right? They stay here. So I do this extra breath here. I inhale here, then I exhale. I inhale again, and I exhale as I go down. And after 5 breaths, I come up just on one inhale. So I inhale to come up, exhale. The same in the third. I inhale here, exhale, hands to the back, inhale again, exhale. And then after 5 breaths, I just come up on one inhale and exhale here. And then comes the fourth one. I switch my hands on waist, the same as in the first one. I inhale here, I go halfway as I exhale. I hold the toes. I again inhale without changing position. And then I exhale as I bring my head down. And after 5 breaths, I will also take 2 breaths to come out. First, inhale, head up. Exhale here without changing anything. Hands on waist. Inhale, come up. And exhale, return to Samastitihi. I hope that brings a little clarity. I would recommend you to turn off the video and try to do it 2-3 times on your own. And we continue to the next sequence, next position, Padmottanasana. So we take hands behind the back into reverse prayer position and step to the back. So this whole movement of taking hands to the back and stepping to the back is the first vinyasa. Ekam, inhale. And now from here, I square my pelvis towards the back of the room. And I exhale. I go straight down. And you don't have to touch your head down. Just go maybe 90 degrees and look at your bottom foot, at your right foot. And just breathe here. And after 5 breaths, inhale, I come up and turn. I again square my pelvis. And then I exhale, I go down. Yeah, so I really recommend initially staying just halfway, unless you are very flexible and you can with ease touch your chin to your shin, you're most welcome to go for it. But otherwise, staying halfway will help you to build more strength while keeping your knees straight. And after 5 breaths, I inhale, come up to center, stretch the arms, exhale back to Samastitihi. So what I would do if I were you, I would again pause the video, do this sequence on my own, and then I would repeat one more time all the standing positions from Padangusthasana, Padahastasana, Trikonasana, Parshvakonasana, Prasarita, the 4 bands which we did, and the last one, Padmottanasana. And once you do it all, and you know that there are no issues, you can easily remember, we have 4 more positions to learn today, okay? So the next position here is Uttita Hasta Padangusthasana. Hands on waist. Lift your right knee. Let's do the easy version first. You can just hold onto the knee. Focus your eyes on one point just in front of you. Breathe 5 times. And now after 5 breaths, I inhale. I open my knee to the side. Don't turn your head. Just keep looking in the same place. That will help you to remain steady. And then from here, slowly come to center. Extend the leg. And stay for 5 breaths here. Doesn't matter how high is the leg. Focus on keeping it straight. So even if it's just here, that's fine. But try to keep it really straight and toes pointed. And after you breathe 5 times here, Samastitihi. And then let's do the same for the left leg. Inhale, left knee up. Hold on to the knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale here, and as you exhale, open the leg. And breathe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale back to center. Straight leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Samastitihi. So for today, just practice this version, and on the following class, I'll show you another variation. Okay, the same for the next position. Now, if you happen to have some knee issues, just do a simple tree pose. Or if you really struggle with balancing. But if you're fine and if your sense of balance is good, take your right leg into half lotus and then hold on to your left elbow or directly onto the big toe. Okay, so wherever you are, just breathe 5 times. And again, this is just like a simplified version of the actual position, whichever you do, tree or half lotus. In the next class, I will show you the full version, which is a little more advanced than this one. But it's always fine to do the simple pose, the simple variation of the pose, even for a very long time. So don't worry about that. Okay, and after 5 breaths, release the leg down. And then we do this left side. Inhale, whichever option you do, tree or half lotus. Hold onto the elbow or hold onto your big toe. Breathe 5 times. And then release the leg down. Exhale. We have 2 more postures to go through today. First one is the whole sequence, the whole vinyasa that takes us to chair pose. Let's begin. We start with sun salutation A. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Head up. Inhale, exhale, step or jump back. Chaturanga. Upward dog. Inhale. Downward dog. Exhale. Now inhale, step or try to hop if you can to chair. And immediately take your hands up. Breathe here 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After 5 breaths, exhale. Keep your knees bent, hands on the floor. Try to ground your palms. And now from here, step or hop back, chaturanga. Upward dog. Inhale. Downward dog. Exhale. And warrior. Step your right foot between your hands. Place your left heel back. Come up to warrior 1. Breathe 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn to the back. Still warrior 1. Keep looking up to your thumbs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, without changing position of your feet, if possible, open for the left side of warrior 2. Check if your arms are aligned, hips are open to the side. Breathe 5 times. 1, looking at your left palm. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn your feet and your head to the right. 1, look towards your right palm. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, hands on the floor. Step back. Plank pose, chaturanga. Upward dog. Breathe in. Downward dog. Breathe out. And now from here we will step forward or jump forward, crossing the legs. Sit down with straight legs. So this is where the sitting postures begin, the sitting sequence. I would again recommend that you turn off the video and you practice the entire standing sequence on your own. So just to remind you the sequence and also to remind you the names, try to repeat after me. The first standing sequence or standing position, Padangusthasana. Then we have Pada Hastasana, the palm to foot position. Then Uttita Trikonasana, Parivrita Trikonasana, Uttita Parshvakonasana, extended side angle, Parivrita Parshvakonasana, the revolving extended side angle. Prasarita Padottanasana. These are the four-legged forward bends, wide leg, 4 forward bends. Prasarita Padottanasana. Parashvottanasana. This is the one with the hands in reverse prayer. Then the following pose is Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. We didn't do the full version. We just did today balancing and holding the knee. And the full version, we hold onto the big toe and the leg is straight. Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana is the extended big toe, hand to big toe pose. Utthita extended Hasta hand. Padangusthasana is the big toe. Then we had the tree pose or the half lotus. This is the Ardha Baddha Padmottanasana. Ardha Baddha, meaning half bound. Padmottanasana is the lotus pose. And then we have Utkatasana, which is the chair pose. But before that, we do the sun salutation A. And then we have the Virabhadrasana, the warrior pose, which we do 4 versions of. Yeah? The warrior 1, right side, left side, and then warrior 2, left side, and then right side. And then we jump through, sit down, into the first position of the sitting sequence, which is the Dandasana, the stick pose. I'll be talking about this position next week on the next class, because this is a very important posture. Looks very simple, but teaches us a lot about the breath, the steadiness, and the alignment. So I consider it quite important. So I encourage you to now, if you still have energy, go one more time through the entire standing sequence at your own pace, because the Mysore practice, the self-practice, is all about repetition and building confidence of practicing on your own and not being guided by the teacher. And once you are done, you can do the last 4 finishing postures. And before that, we also did the bridge pose. Okay, so I will do this now, and you can follow, or if you already remember how we did the closing part last time, you can do at your own pace. So once you are seated, you can just gently round your back and roll yourself to lying on the back. And for the bridge pose, bend your knees, hands flat on the floor. You can gently draw your shoulders in. And as you inhale, lift your hips up. So this is a simple bridge pose, which prepares us for the actual wheel position, which I will also show you next week. We'll be staying here for 5 breaths. After 5 breaths, exhaling, lower your hips down, and repeat it 2 more times. Inhale, lift your hips up. And then exhale, lower down. And last one, inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower down. You can hug your knees to the chest, crossing your ankles, and roll yourself to sitting. Now extend your legs forward. If you can, reach, hold onto your feet, and exhale, bring your head down. If you're not able to reach to your feet, you can always bend your knees. We're staying here for 10 breaths. After 10 breaths, still holding onto your feet. Head up, inhale, exhale. We will do now vinyasa, which is the transition between the postures. Cross your legs, take your feet under your hips or under your thighs, hands just in front of your feet. Inhale, lean forward, press into your hands, lift your hips up. Exhale, step back into the plank pose, chaturanga. Upward dog, inhale, downward dog, exhale. And now as you inhale, again, jumping or stepping forward. So the easiest way, shoulders forward, 1 foot behind, 2nd foot behind. Sit down and again, extend your legs. So this transition, commonly referred to as a vinyasa. Vinyasa is nothing else than just connection of breath and movement. So any transition can be called vinyasa. But just to simplify, we refer to the jumping through and back as vinyasa. This vinyasa will be coming back to us very, very often as you start the sitting postures. But today we do it only one time. If you want, you can try a few more times on your own. Again, be patient because vinyasa can be very challenging for some people. So don't worry if it's not happening exactly the way you wished. And now for the last 4 postures, you can cross your legs, take lotus or full lotus position if you've been doing in the previous sessions. Now either holding onto your toes or on your wrist or elbows. Inhale here and exhale, lower down for 10 breaths. Now inhaling, lifting the head up. You can cup your fingers, 5 to 10 breaths, lifting your heart, gently dropping your head to the back. Then rounding your spine to bring your head up again. Padmasana, the meditative posture. You can stay here for a minimum of 10 breaths. You can stay longer if you like to. And the last position, Utplutihi, where you first try to lift your knees, even if you're just sitting with crossed legs. Tighten your knees, place your hands between your hips and your knees. Inhale, lift up. Let's just try for 5 breaths today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And relax. That's Utplutihi. Normally we try to build it up to 10 breaths. So start from whatever you can do, and then over time, just add the duration. Now you can release your legs. You can remain seated or you can stand up, and we will chant the closing mantra. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahi Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. I thank you very much. Lie down now for Shavasana for at least 10 to 15 minutes, allowing your body to fully relax. And I'm looking forward to seeing you for our last 4th session. Thank you so much. Namaste.